Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to this video on using the substitution method to solve simultaneous equations. So we're going to look at solving simultaneous equations for a few lessons, and there is more than one method of how to solve them. So we're just going to look at the method that's called the substitution method. So when you have simultaneous equations, simultaneous means at the same time. So what you have are two equations and you have two pronumerals or variables, and you want to solve them at the same time, and there is usually one solution. Okay, so for example, we might have, and I'll give you a basic one to start off with, x plus y. So x and y are the two variables, and we might have something like this. Okay, so what we've got, two equations. What we want to do is we want to find a solution, a value for x and y that solves both of these equations at the same time. So the method we're looking at today is substitution. So what you do is you substitute one equation into the other. So what you do is you choose which one do you substitute into the other. You choose the one that's either in the form y equals something or x equals something. If they're both in that form, you can choose whichever one you like. So what you do is you substitute one into the other, then you will find the first value. So you'll find x or y first, and then you'll find the other. Okay, so if you want to pause and copy down these steps, be my guest. I'm about to get rid of them and actually do the question that I wrote up there. So the question again is x plus y equals 6 and y equals 2x. So I want to find a solution, a value of x and y that makes both of these statements true. So I'm going to substitute the second equation into the first one. The reason I'm substituting this one is because it's in the form y equals something. This one is not in that form. So I'm going to substitute equation 2 into equation 1. So the information from equation 2 is telling you that y equals 2 times x. So what I do is I take the first equation, and everywhere I see a y, I replace it with 2x. So this was my first equation. So I'm going to take away the y. I'm going to get rid of that and replace it with 2x, because y equals 2x. So now I have one equation with one variable, x, and you know how to solve this. So x plus 2x is just 3x, so 3x equals 6. I divide each side by 3 and get my solution, x equals 2. So I found the first value, but I'm not done. I need to find what y is, okay? And that's really easy. I'm just going to substitute that back into the second equation. So if x equals 2 and y equals 2 times x, y is just 2 times 2, which is 4. So the solution I have, I can write it as x value always goes first, like a point. So that solution, x equals 2, y equals 4, solves both of these at once. It solves this one because 2 plus 4 does equal 6. 2 plus 4 does equal 6. And also, of course, 4 does equal 2 times 2. So this is the only solution for this one. I can't choose any other values for x and y that would make both of these true at once. All right, let's do another example. So let's solve these two. Again, we have two equations and two variables, x and y, and we're going to solve by substituting one equation into the other. So if I call this the first and this the second equation, note that this is in the form y equals something or x equals something. So because it's x equals something, I'm going to substitute the first equation into the second equation. So I take my second equation, and everywhere I see an x, I'm going to rub that out, and I'm going to replace it with 4y plus 3, because x is the same as 4y plus 3. Now, the difficult thing is you have to put it in brackets like that, because I want to minus the whole thing. So this is 7y minus 4y minus 3, because the minus carries over there, equals 3. Okay, so this is easy to solve now. 7y minus 4y is 3y, minus 3 equals 3. So you add 3 to both sides, divide by 3, you get y equals 2. I'm not done because I have only found the y value. I need to find the x value. So again, I'm going to substitute that into now the first equation. So x is 4 times y plus 3, which is 11. So the solution is x is 11, y is 2. And that solves both of these equations at once. I can check whether I'm right. So if I substitute it into the first equation, I get 11 equals 4 times 2 plus 3. That's true. If I substitute into the second one, I get 7 times y. 7 times 2 is 14. Minus 11 equals 3. They are both true. I've done the right thing. Okay, I just need to show you one more type of question. So let's say I have equations like this. So again, I want to solve simultaneously. Find a value for x and a value for y to make both equations true at the same time. So I'm going to substitute one into the other. The problem is that equation 1 is not in the form y equals something or x equals something, and neither is equation 2. But I can rearrange equation 1 so it is in that form. So I can take equation 1 and rewrite it as y equals 12 minus x. So what I've done is I've subtracted x from both sides. Remember, you can do whatever you want to one side of the equation as long as you do it to the other. So that's now my first equation, and I'll keep my second equation the same. So now the first equation is in the form y equals something, so I'm going to substitute it. I'm going to substitute the first into the second. So I have 5x plus 2. I'm going to replace y with 12 minus x. As I said in the previous example, you need brackets. Okay. So this one may look a bit complicated, but it's really easy because we have one equation, one variable. I'm going to use the distributive law. So I've got 5x. 2 times 12 is 24. 2 times negative x is negative 2x. Equals 45. 5x and minus 2x, they are like terms. So I get 3x plus 24 equals 45. So you know what to do from here. Subtract 24 from both sides and divide each side by 3. X equals 7. So now I have to find the y value. So I'm going to substitute that into the first equation. So if I sub into the first equation here, doesn't really matter where I substitute it in, it's just easier if I do it here, then the y value is 12 minus x, which is 5. So that means, sorry, I should write that properly, that means that the final solution is x is 7, y is 5. All right, this has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Have a great day.